Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. I am Indira Maiti, and today I am back with a new topic, that is the Middle English period. So last day we completed discussing the Old English period. So today we are back with the next literary age, that is the Middle English period. It is also known as Anglo Norman Age. And the Anglo Norman Age marks its beginning from 1066 AD to 1350 AD. Now let's just have a brief discussion about the Anglo-Norman Age. So in 1066 AD, an event took place in England that has a major effect in English literature, and the name of the event is the Norman Conquest. Now, what happened in this Norman conquest? In 1066, William the Conqueror was the Duke of Normandy and he invaded the island of Britain. He conquered Britain and settled with his nobles and courts in England. So, William the Conqueror invaded the island of Britain and settled along with his nobles and courts. So, before moving on with the topic, let's just have a brief discussion about the background of William the Conqueror, along with the background of the Normans, as he was the Duke of Normandy. Another thing I should mention here is that this event, the event of 1066, the Norman Conquest, acts as the transition from the Old English period to the Middle English period. So the Normans were the descendants of Vikings from Scandinavia and they settled in the northern region of France around 9th century. And the place where they settled was known as Normandy. The Normans, the descendants of Vikings, they became Frenchmen by acquiring and adopting their culture, their customs, by marrying the local women. They acquired their language, the French language, and they totally converted themselves to Christianity and became Frenchmen. And by doing so, they had completely abandoned their Old Norse language, and that too to such extent that not a single Norse would survive in Normandy. There was a king named Ethelred the Unready. He was the king of England from 978 to 1016 AD. He married this king, the king of England, Ethelred the Unready, married a Norman woman. And their son was known as Edward the Confessor. But since his father was an Englishman and his mother was a Norman woman, and he was raised in France, therefore he was more French than English. And this king, Edward the Confessor, he ruled England from 1042 to 1066 AD. And during his 24 years of his reign, Edward had brought many of his Norman friends in England. Not only this, even he gave them positions, important positions in the government. But there was a twist. Edward the Confessor had no child. And when he died childless, William the Conqueror, the second cousin of Edward the Confessor, he believed himself to be the next king. Although he had no right to inherit the English throne, still he believed himself to be Edward the Confessor's successor. But when the accession of throne was denied to him, he attacked England. When the throne was denied to him, he attacked England. And with his exceptional abilities, he won the Battle of Hastings on 14th October 1066. Thereafter, he became the King of England. And the rule of William the Conqueror brought vast changes to the social, political, religious, and linguistic structure of England. Now I'll just study the changes that William the Conqueror brought in England. First one is introduction of new nobility. And the old English nobility was virtually annihilated. Next, it's the dominance of French language in England. And this is the most important and most significant aspect of this period. French became the language of the ruling class. Along with their servants. It also became the official language in England. It was adopted across the entire range of written registers, that is, literature, legal proceedings, commerce, government, business, private correspondence, and it is said that the status of French in England from 1066 AD onwards can be compared to the importance of English in England in the 19th and the 20th century. The status of French in England from 1066 onwards can be compared to the importance of English in England in the 19th and 20th century. So, due to the conquest of 1066, the Norman conquest, there was a huge change in the history of England that had a huge impact in the political, social, economic, and the literary structure of England. So, with the Norman conquest, French became the official language in England. But in spite of that, how the English language survived, now we are going to study that. So, there are three most important reasons. First is the Old English was too established and too vigorous to be wiped out. English continued to be the speech of commoners, and it would have needed many centuries of French rule to obliterate it as the vernacular of the ordinary people. Secondly, the fusion of the Normans and English was rapid. As the Normans married the English people, the future generation living in Britain would feel more English than French. The fusion between Normans and English. As the future generation felt themselves more fascinated towards England and felt more English than French, the Norman ancestors were forgotten with time, and young people were identified with the natural language of most inhabitants in Britain. The Anglo Normans lost control of their French territory across the Channel. When King John lost Normandy in 1204 AD, conflict began to develop between France and England, and this concluded with the Hundred Years' War. And this loss of Normandy established an independent English nation, and a feeling of national consciousness and identity began to arise in England. The English people began to be more interested in their native language. Therefore, the trilingual setting of the medieval England existing following the Norman conquest started to disappear. So, this is the whole historical background of 1066, the Middle English period, which is also known as the Anglo Norman period. So, we are stopping here. From next day, we'll start discussing the important writers of this age, the important poets of this age, who have an immense contribution in English literature. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you think that this video has helped you in any way or the other, do like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.